Now to tonight's special report. Recently in San Antonio, the head of the Department of Public Safety announced the #1 threat to Texas security were the Mexican drug cartels. We've all heard horror stories of the cartels' lethal legacy in Mexico with the tens of thousands of killings, torturing, beheadings, human trafficking, and drugs. KETK's Bob Rakeen talked with East Texas law enforcement who will tell you if you think that sort of violence ends at the border, you couldn't be more wrong.
Nearly 2,000 miles stretch along Texas' contentious southern border.
I can tell you that having worked that border for 20 years, it is more secure now than it has ever been.
The men and women involved in trying to keep the gate closed would beg to differ with Madam Secretary. Countless numbers of illegals, many looking for work, many more looking for trouble.
400, 500, 600 people coming through our station on the weekend, and that's just what we're catching. Who knows what's getting by?
Armed men crossing our border, some hauling drugs, others involved in human trafficking, earmarks of Mexican cartels. Organized crime that's already left its scars in South Texas. Agriculture Commissioner Todd Staples says he's seen firsthand the cartels' lethal legacy. He tells the story of a South Texas farmhand and his run-in with cartels.
He saw a vehicle in the distance. He turned his pickup toward what he thought was oil-field workers, and as he did, he immediately started receiving gunfire. The way that he escaped was finally he pulled over and pulled out his rifle and started returning fire.
Staples showed his audience the man's bullet-riddled truck as proof.
These people are ruthless, they're cold-blooded, they have no regard for human life.
The new sheriff in town, Greg Sanchez, still getting the feel of law enforcement in Angelina County, but the former state trooper and native East Texan knows the Mexican cartel's reach extends well into his backyard. Drugs, human smuggling, weapons, all icons of Mexican drug cartels, and all of them in East Texas.
When we stop a lot of these folks and they get arrested and we put them in jail, they'll even tell you they're worried for their life, that they're probably going to be killed because they didn't complete their mission.
6 of the 8 cartels currently have command and control networks operating in Texas. 3 of them have left their mark in East Texas: Zetas, La Familia, and the Gulf Cartel. The DPS report reveals they're moving drugs and people into the United States and transporting cash, and weapons, and stolen vehicles back to Mexico. Authorities say don't look for gang members in some sort of cartel uniform. They contend their chameleon-like character allows cartels to blend in.
There are different ways that they operate. One can be they can rent a house or buy a home in your neighborhood. They look like regular neighbors, but they're not.
Unless your neighbors are in the business of setting up huge marijuana growing operations like this one found in the National Forest in deep East Texas.
We had a case of that over in Polk County, and that's usually the way they're going to do it, is land they don't own.
Sanchez says communication is key in the battle against the cartels. He keeps lines open not only in Texas but neighboring Louisiana as well. And his 2 cents on Texans who think Mexican cartel violence ends at the border.
Well, I'd say they're wrong. It is our problem. And Mexico, anything that happens there, which we know we have all the illegal activity that's coming over into Texas, and then of course goes on up to other states, affects everybody.
Bob Rakeen, KETK News.
The man police believe burglarized